Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk to you all about the MGTOW movement. So that's the MGTOW. It's an acronym for Men Going Their Own Way. Okay. Anyways, I think it's really good. And I'll tell you why. Because Paul, the Apostle Paul, says that it's better to stay single. Now, I think it's also good for women to go their own way. Check out the scenery behind me. Anyway, so Paul says it's best for men and women to stay single. And it might be a little bit windy, sorry about that if there's any wind sound. There's supposed to be a cyclone coming in here into this area, near this area, not right completely into, but it's supposed to be pretty windy. Anyways, Paul says it's best to stay single. If you're a virgin, he says it's best to stay single. If you're a widow, it's best to stay single after that. And the reason why is because it takes away from your focus on God. The most important thing for you is to go to heaven, to be with God in the afterlife. You don't want to be away from God. Being away from God is hell. Okay? So there's this new movement where men have been red-pilled. Okay, so what does that mean? Like, they've seen the truth. I don't think men have seen the full truth because there hasn't exactly been a big, revival of believers in God. And anyway, Paul says this in the Bible, so it's biblical. And the way things are going, people are just so evil these days. That it's almost not worth dating anybody. Pretty well, I know in the area where I live, there's hardly any believers. The city where I live. It's a really evil place. It's godless. And, there's just a lot of promiscuity. People are promiscuous. I know the women are promiscuous. The men probably are too. They've got these new dating apps. Well, they're not new. They've been around for a long time. And people are just going on them and hooking up. They're just going on it, to have sex. Okay? That's not a reason to have a relationship. A relationship is not about that. A relationship needs to be holy. You need to live a holy life. God called you to live a holy life. Okay? So, if you're yoked with a non-Christian, you're not going to be living a holy life. It says in the Bible, don't be yoked with a non-Christian. That means don't have a relationship with a non-Christian. Now, even the Christians these days are mostly lukewarm. Now, you don't want to have a relationship with a lukewarm Christian. You want to have a relationship with somebody who's on fire for God. Okay? Solomon in the Bible said that out of 1,000 men, he found one man that was upright and upstanding and, you know, basically a decent person. That would be a decent person in the eyes of God. And he said he found no women. So that's pretty bleak on the side of men and women. Okay, and I think it's the same today. Even the so-called Christians today are pretty well not upstanding people. You know, they've got, you know, a lot of bad thoughts in their mind, doing bad things, doing sins, all kinds of things. So you don't want to be yoked with somebody like that. And so I think that it's good for men and women to stay single, as it says in the Bible. I think you should follow the Bible. Now it says that you can get married if, you know, you're not being married leads to sin, like you're gonna go fornicate or something, like sex out of wedlock or something, or cause you to do some sort of sin. Well, you might as well just get married to prevent yourself from doing these things. So it's not that you can't get married, you can. And but it's better to not be married. Now, how would I find a good person to marry? You know, if you feel that you have to get married so that you don't do a sin, I think that you should find somebody who's not a cross-dresser. Okay, because God says that a man should wear man's clothes and a woman should wear woman's clothes. And what Solomon said was he did not find one woman who was upright, an upstanding woman. So it's going to be hard for you even in this day to find a good woman. Out of 1,000, you just could not find one decent woman. And I'll tell you that, you know, before the 1950s, women used to wear dresses, and I consider women wearing pants to be sort of like cross-dressers. Okay, men were wearing pants, women were wearing dresses. And if you saw a man wearing a dress today, you would say that's a man wearing women's clothing. Okay, because that's obvious. Well, women should be wearing women's clothing. They should be wearing the dress. But the thing about it is, back in the old days, if you saw a woman wearing a pair of pants, you'd say that woman is wearing men's clothing. Why is she doing that? You know, if I was you, I would choose a woman who wears a dress every day because she follows the rules of the Bible. Now, that's just my preference. You know, I don't know what God has to say with that, about that. God says, I say follow everything in the Bible. God's going to give grace to who he wants to give grace to. right? So, is a woman wearing pants, is that going to get her to hell? I don't know. I really don't know. I suspect it might, though. Because if it says in the Bible, for a woman to wear women's clothing, you should wear obvious women's clothing. So, it's getting windy out there, really windy. And the woman or the man that you choose should be in the Bible every day, should be talking about God every day, should be mindful of God every day, should be praying all the time. You should be praying together. If you're a man, you should be leading your wife and your children in prayer every day. You should be praying over your food, thanking God for your food, praying before bed with your children, stuff like that. You're the man, lead the woman. Women want somebody to be a leader. They really do. Did you ever notice how women always say they want the man to choose which restaurant to go to? They want men to do things, make choices for the both of them, because they want a leader. This is natural. This is the way women naturally are. They want a man, to take control. And a woman should be reminding the man to pray as well. And praying with the children. And just doing common sense stuff. Okay? So I thought I'd bring this up. The MGTOW movement, men going their own way, is great. Everything that the Bible says is true, and it always ends up coming true. Can you give me a thumbs up? Subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm going to be back to talk to you about more stuff. Stuff that comes up on my mind, stuff that's in the Bible. Maybe I'll do more walk-arounds like this. See if you guys put it in the comments if you think you like walk-arounds better than me being at home in front of my computer. Okay, so in the comments, put down in the comments if you're a woman, do you think that men are less trustworthy these days? Are they less holy these days, do you think, compared to what other generations might have had to put up with? Maybe it's always been that way. If it was like that in the days of Solomon, and you can look it up, just Google it. Solomon says that he found 1 out of 1,000 men. Google it and look it up in the Bible. He said that he found no women at the time. And men, do you think that women are less trustworthy, or they're just not trustworthy? Do you think that they're going to break your faith? You got to remember, there's a lot of people out there that just want to use you, pretend they're your friend, try to marry you just so they can sue you for half your money, half your assets, make you pay alimony for the rest of your life. The most important thing is to go to heaven and be with God in the end. Okay, so thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, come back again, and I want everybody to have a fantastic day.